Hello. Hello.
Yeah, hi Vikram.
Hi there. Thank you for joining in.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Yeah, look, I'm sharing you a link on the Zoom chat. Please go to that link and finish this quiz as soon as possible.
Okay, Vikram. Thank you.
Thank you. Hi Kirti. Hi Sandeep. Hi Kirti. Hi Kirti. Thanks for joining in. Hi Venkat. Yes. If you could not able to find the chat, I'll share that on your WhatsApp as well. Venkat, you're on not on mute.
Hi Vikram, can you share the link again?
Oh yeah,
The
sure.
chat.
Folks, has everybody taken the quiz?
Just a minute, Vikram. I'm doing that.
Okay, sure. Let me know if you see any errors or you could not able to answer any of those questions. Just let me know. Every question is required and you're supposed to answer yes, no, or you have only 2 options in there. So it's a multiple, it is just a one single answer for every question. And you just 2 options.
Hi, Vikram. While I was going through the quiz, there is an option to provide your answer. I mean, what is it about?
Oh, the last one?
The last one, yes.
Yeah, throw in some feedback about the quiz or if you find if any error, or just give it some few spaces and random characters and that would fill it up. That's not supposed to be a required field, that's an error there. Or if you feel like adding any question to the quiz, you can add it there and that will help me to add into the future quizzes. Guys, when you're done taking the quiz, please use your panel to say yes. So that way I know how many of you completed your quiz. So Venkat and Murali has finished the quiz. Kirti, I believe you have also finished the quiz, right?
Yes, Vikram.
Okay. I see 3 people finished the quizzes. Okay, Divya has also finished the quiz. Okay, Vidisha has also finished the quiz. Sandeep, you have finished your quiz and submitted, but you're not using your panel to say yes. Murali, thank you for submission.
I'm doing it.
Okay. Thank you, Murali. You guys, you got another 4 minutes, be quick. Usually this quiz is for first 10 minutes, so I have seen people joining in late, so I'm adding another extra 5 minutes in there. Please be on the time. We wouldn't have quiz every day. I will let you know if we have a quiz. What do you guys think if we can join 10 minutes early to make the quiz up? Is that a good idea? Can you guys able to make it like 10 minutes early to the class when we have a quiz?
Might not be possible every day, Vikram, but I think I can do that.
Okay, Vidisha.
Also, quick question: would there be any alternate time for this meeting, or could you do any alternate time? Because 10:30 to 12:30 has been very late.
Uh, rest of the folks, who else wants to change this particular time? Okay, Vidisha, let's complete the quiz. Let everybody have their own green thing. I mean, completing the quiz, then we can talk about it. Or we can talk about, as we already started the session for today, let's talk about it at the end of the session. Okay.
Okay, sounds good.
Thank you, Monica, for finishing it. I use your panel, Monica, please, to folks, 2 more minutes. Please finish it. Okay, Vidisha, VDOM in React is not a copy of HTML DOM. It's a copy of HTML DOM as a JavaScript DOM. Okay.
Okay, Vikram.
And Murali, jQuery does not help you to load faster on browsers. It's a simple library written on top of JavaScript to manipulate the HTML elements.
Oh, okay, Vikram.
And
I have a quick question, Vikram. Sorry to interrupt you.
yes.
So in the question, how does React manipulate DOM? It says directly changes the DOM like jQuery, but I thought we use vDOM.
Yeah, it's the V down there. I think there's an error in there.
Okay.
Yes, that's the answer had a wrong key. Never mind, I would change it. I would add this code for you. Everybody.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you.
Okay. And Murli, you also say that what is VDOM in React? You have answered it as a copy of HTML DOM.
Yeah, it's actually stored as JavaScript package, but I thought like yesterday I seen HTML in regular DOM and VDOM, right?
Right,
I
right.
just I just
Oh, the
misunderstand.
one I'm showing was a copy of JavaScript DOM. But yeah, that sounds fair. I'll add another score for you there. And you also said, can we do React without JSX? What do you think?
Yeah, I don't know about that. I just guess that like.
Dear, we can absolutely do React without using JSX. We can use plain vanilla JavaScript. You remember we made this React elements on the left side. We used JSX. On the right side, it was producing the JS code.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yes.
So we can absolutely do React using JavaScript, but it's very hard to read and hard to maintain.
Oh, okay.
And Maunika, what is a DOM manipulation? DOM manipulation does not add interactions to a UI. You interact, then the DOM manipulation happens. But what is the DOM manipulation in the first place? It changes the structure of the HTML. Okay.
Okay, Vikram.
Then, if you change the structure of the HTML, then you interact and change the structure first, and that's the DOM manipulation. Okay. And you also answered saying that why cannot use React without using JSX. I think I just answered it.
Okay, Vikram.
Okay. Okay, a lot of folks have answered this question wrongly without how we cannot use. I mean, can we do React without using JSX? Absolutely, guys. We can use JavaScript as well to do our React code. Okay. Okay. So I have 10 people. Everybody have taken the quiz, right, guys? Anybody have who had trouble not able to take the quiz, unable to complete it, submit it? Anybody? Okay, great. So everybody has taken the quiz. I would give out an individual feedback to quiz. This would send out to your email with the results and the score. Please take a look for the questions which have been wrongly answered. Let's definitely give it a second look. Okay, great, guys. Thank you. So let's get started from yesterday. So we were discussing, and someone briefed me what we were discussing. Okay, yesterday. Murli, what we were discussing yesterday?
Yesterday we talked about the how VDOM works in React and like how JSX we can use in React, and then how we can transpile the code from JSX to JavaScript by using Babel and how the Node.js works by using Webpack.
The Node.js, the Webpack, we haven't discussed. We went over it, but
Like we just got the introduction of that.
so everybody were able to install this particular Node.js on their machine and try to do a node-v and get the version number. Vidisha, the thing that you fixed, or do you want me to connect after the class? I think that would be late for you. What would
I
be
fixed it, Vikram.
You fixed
So
it?
I uninstalled it and installed it again basically, and it worked after a while.
Okay, cool. Anybody have any more troubles installing Node.js on their machine? And folks, please reach out and help each other, because it would be hard for me after 12:30. For you guys, it would be too late, and over a day I would be very busy. unable to connect to each person. But if somebody else have installed and facing an issue, please help. But if you could not able to install, I'm always there for you. Okay. But guys, listen, everything is on the internet. Every error you see on your command line, put it on the, and that's what I do. Whenever you say, okay, I have this error, I just go onto the internet, put the error and see the possible solutions and apply them. And I learn, okay, the next time when I have to see the same error, I would definitely go give it a direct try without hitting a Google. Okay. Please help yourself. Then if you could not, ask one of your team members. If not, always reach out to me. Sounds fair?
Yes, Vikram.
All right. Thank you, guys. So if you have already installed this particular Node.js on your machine, I have also asked you to install React Create app. So were you able to do that as well?
Vikram, do you mean when we install create React app on the command window?
Yes. Once you have
Yeah.
once you have your Node thing up and running, you have to simply do another command. Let me show you that
Yeah, I
again.
got it done, Vikram.
Okay, it's npm install create react app -g. Okay, and I have also seen not people not joining in on the Slack. I'm not sure. I only see Stravani, I think. Okay, only Praveen and Stravani, with 9 others. Let me check that out for. Okay, I would add to you to the group. Once you have inside the channel, I would able to share this particular commands. But for now, once you have your node machines up and running, guys, use this particular command and let me know if you're facing any error. npm install create react app -g and do an enter. If it does not allow you to do it on your Mac machines, do sudo. On your Windows as well. Okay, so while you guys do that, let me go over a little bit about what it does. Whenever we start a new project or when we start up a new web app, what we do is we do not start coding everything from the scratch, guys. Okay, so we have. Does anyone know what a boilerplate is? Venkat, Sandeep, Neha.
No, I don't have any.
Okay, Kirti knows. Kirti, what do you know about boilerplate?
No idea, Vikram.
Okay. So a boilerplate is not, just give me a minute. Okay, so whenever we start writing a new project or a new web app, guys, we do not start coding from the scratch. What I mean by that, you do not, go into start creating the first line of code from your first file. All we do is go onto the internet and find this boilerplate. A boilerplate is nothing but it has set up everything for you. Okay, you don't have to do it from the scratch. Initially, we have to set up the Babel by ourselves or ES6 syntax for ourselves. There are the compilation process of writing in JS6 into the JS. There is a little bit of configuration involved in this. Okay, that takes a lot of time for ourselves to write all this configuration by by hand, and it would kill a lot of time. The main focus has to be create the code, start building your React components, start learning the React. But if you're lost into the details of putting together all the configurations, you would never go far. Or in your project, let's say somebody comes up and tell you, hey Raj, you can hey Sandeep, can you put up a real quick application, and you start doing this initial setup, and that would take forever. What we do is we always take a boilerplate. A boilerplate is nothing but a base code, or a code that already pre-exists from the internet. We have variety of boilerplates. Let me show you a quick website for it. Okay, on my screen you see this particular website called React.path. There are many things that are related to React on the internet, but getting to know one and everything in one, directly going into that particular website or a Git repository and getting to know each and everything is very difficult. What a Reacted parts they do is they compile the list of all the boilerplates, all the other packages, components, everything put together, and provide a very clean UI as like a search engine, where you can throw in the keywords and that will bring up all the information, all the components that are related for the search term. Okay, no, I need a boilerplate. So the moment I entered the boilerplate term, it brought up a lot. Excuse me. It brought up a list of all the all the boilerplates. All I have to do is copy these boilerplates as my base and build on top of it. Okay, and the most and the widely used of the boilerplate is create React app. Okay, and if you go to this particular website, create React app, and this is from the Facebook. They configured everything for you, hiding all the details of how the JS6 is converted into JS. How do you configure your Webpack? How you can write your ES6 syntax? Hot reloading, everything is all put together into your package. All you have to do is do this particular line of code, npm install create react -g, and that would install that particular node package or the npm module onto your machine. And the next time, and you can use the same command to create a new React up and running application within no time. Okay, once I have installed on my machine, what I'm going to do is create React app. Can somebody give me a fancy name for our application we are building? We're going to build a product search application, adding the products and removing the products from the cart. Folks, please respond. Sandeep,
Can you repeat that, Vikram?
yes. Can you guys give me a fancy name for our application?
We can use the name Stellars, right?
Yes, absolutely. I always do it for every session. Okay, we have create app stellars, and I click enter. Okay, I think I already have stellars. Let me clear that up then. Okay, so create React -have stellars. Okay, and click and enter, and that is creating a whole React application for. Okay.
So to clarify, Vikram, what you said was we can go on this website and boilerplate is nothing like but a base code.
Yes.
Where
exactly.
you can make your own node modules. Node modules, is that right?
React components. Yeah. You know what? You are in a competition to make a cake decoration. I don't know if there is a word for to decorate your cake. It's called icing.
Yeah.
Right? You are into this competition, and for an icing the cake, all you need is the raw piece of bread, right? And during this competition, will you bake the bread for yourself, or do you get it off the shelf? The competition is about the icing part, not the baking the bread. What we do is we get the bread from outside and make the icing during the competition. In the same way, we don't have to build the things from the scratch. You can take them off the shelf and build on top of it. Getting things from off the shelf, the code base or the base that on which we build is called a boilerplate. Okay, you might probably, whenever you get into a new project, you probably might see people talking about, okay, when you're going to start a new project, what kind of a boilerplate are you using? Which boilerplate are you using? Are we trying to use a boilerplate or are we writing it from the scratch? These terms always happen. Okay, so I now have a React application. All I have to do is get into this particular folder. Let's get into this folder, series tell us. Okay, and let me see what all I have in my library, in my folder. Let me open that in my Atom window. Okay, so this is a very small React application that has been created for me using the React Create app. Okay, I would expect everybody by tomorrow to have this thing on your machine. Please have a fancy name for your application. It does not really matter because it's not supposed to have spaces and special characters. You can have a capital case. I'm not sure if the React Create app has adopted that idea of capital case. I have created earlier. You can use the small characters, and I at least you have to show at least this thing on your machine by tomorrow. Sounds fair? Is that good, Kirti?
Sorry, Vikram?
Is that good? Will you be able to set up this React Create app on your machine by tomorrow?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, Vikram.
Rest of the folks, yes, Ravani? Can you?
Vikram, yeah.
Oh, awesome. So let's talk a little bit about the file structure in React. Okay. Do anybody have a little bit background from an Angular framework? I heard someone say they have an Angular framework background. Mount. Okay. Give me a quick minute. Okay. So let's go really quick about the folder structure, guys, on the React. Not just in React, guys, in any other framework, you would probably see two folders. Okay, one would be a public folder. Okay, another would be a source folder. There are different terms for these two particular folders. It can be public, it can be server. Okay, and it can be source, it can be client. Following? It can be public and source combination. It can be server or a client combination. Okay. Every UI framework or every library we do on the web will have a development code and a production code, right? You understand the word production, right? Shravani, you understand the word production, right? Udayashri?
Yes, Vikram.
Udayashri, can you?
Yes, Vikram.
Okay, great. So we have a development code, we have a production code. The difference is during the development, you can able to alter the code, you can able to see the things, you can able to create the things. The code is so much readable. You can able to tweak the code as you like during the development process. Once you are into a production, the code is not supposed to be readable by any means, because if it's production, it probably potentially be on a public internet, right? And people on public internet are not good are not good guys. They try to skim through your code, try to understand the code, and they understand the code, then they know how to break the code, right? So what we do is, whenever we try to put the code on the production, we uglify the code. Okay, we try to replace the names of the variables with the different kind of variable names. We try to replace the function names. We try to do this is all taken care of by another tool. I'll let you know what a tool is. And we do an uglification. Okay, what an uglification makes your code so ugly that it is no longer a readable code. And we do that in the production, not in the development. A development code is supposed to be a readable code. There's a joke around this area where people say, your development code looks like a production code. What they mean by that is the development code is not even readable. Okay, and once you have this on the production, your code is not supposed to be readable, and it also minifies. It's another keyword, guys. Minification. On the development, we always have our code on bigger files. A lot of number of lines of code, and everything is into their separate file. But once you're on the production, everything is put into one single file. Okay, and that single file is called a bundle. Getting, folks, clear until this point?
Yes, Vikram.
Okay, anybody else have any questions between production? Okay, to use your panel, I'm clearing all opinion poll. Please let me know if you have any questions until this part. Okay, guys, please use the panel. Say yes, no. Only 3 people are using the panel. Udashri, you have a difficulty using it? Udashri, are you there? Sandeep? Udashri, please use your panel. I do not see a response from your end.
No, I texted you, Vikram.
Okay, please, Sandeep, please use the panel. That would be awesome, because I cannot really look at the chat window and the panel. It would be really easy for me to have a quick look on everybody.
Okay, Vikram.
Thank you, Sandeep. Okay, for some reason, Udayashree is unable to use a panel. Okay, great. Thank you, Udayashree. Sandeep, you are the only guy who's remaining. If you say yes verbally, that would be also okay.
No doubts, Vikram.
Oh, awesome. Thank you. So, well, we have a production code, we have a development code, and let's look at the file a little more into other files. What else you see on my what else you see on my screen, guys? Any questions about the other files? I would only answer the questions. I would only explain the files which you asked.
Vikram, can you just explain what all files are there under the source folder?
I would definitely, Vidisha, if under the source, I would definitely explain. But on the higher level, do you have any questions on the public source, git ignore, package.json, readme.md, yarn log file?
What is yarn log?
Okay, Divya, that's a good question there. You are familiar with NPM, Divya?
Like Node Package Manager.
Yeah. You know this thing, Node Package Manager?
I mean, I know Package.json and readme, but I don't know the other one.
Okay, good. So let me explain you. Let's say, guys, if you are building an apartment and you are in need. Let's take an example. You're building an apartment, and you what are the things that go into an apartment? You have to have a front door. You have to have the windows. You have to have your all home appliances like a fan, and all the plumbing works of the taps and etc. Right? What do? When you're building an apartment? If you need a window, will you go out to the open area gather all the iron rustlings and melt the iron and recreate a window for yourself, or you're going to get it from off the shelf? What would be the best option? Murali, what would be the best option? Creating the window by yourself, melting the metal, structuring it, welding it back into a shape you need, or getting it off the shelf?
Getting it off the shelf.
Exactly right. So during our project, guys, a lot of times we need some components that we do not really have to focus on, but we need them as a part of our project. Let's take an example of an airline. Okay, let me go to this. Do you know, anybody know a website that gives out a free airline tickets, or not a free, but a very low airline tickets? Divya?
Spirit Airlines.
Airlines, okay.
We have cheapo air, Vikram, like, where we can.
Cheapo. Okay, so my idea is to build this particular website called Cheapo. As soon as I enter into my website, I see a few things here. I'm entering the from city in here, okay, and I also need the to location, and what else I need? I need two things. If I'm making a one-way trip, let's take a one-way trip. I need a pickup date, and as soon as I click this pickup date, what I see a calendar, right? Do you think inside, so while making this project, do you think we make the calendar by ourselves? Handling all the leap year, going through the multiple years, and trying to understand through the click mechanism of the each, and try to have this little header on Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. Do you think we create this particular calendar for ourselves, guys?
No, Vikram, we can use an already built function or a package.
Yes, so we use an NPM registry, okay? So let's go back to this NPM registry. It's kind of an online shop, okay, where you go there and get the tools required and integrate into your project. So there's some guy who already been working on, let's take an example of a React app. You're building a React app to do an online ticketing system. And inside that, I need a date picker. And the particular thing is called a date picker. It uses a calendar. It is by calendar, but what I'm doing, the intention is to pick a date. So I go here and I can just go to my React parts and just say date picker, and it would throw all the components that are allowing me to pick the date. Okay, so I click on one of the components and I go to this particular website and look the way he's doing. So he already built a component which has a facility to click and the calendar opens. Do you see there's a lot of a matching thing between this guy and this guy? The component is as soon as I click, it's opening up a component. Okay, and I can click on a particular date, and that is filling the information, and that is happening the exact same thing in here. What I do is I take this particular component off the shelf and style it in a way I need it. Okay, I'm not concerning about the functionality of this calendar, but I'm more concerned about the styling part. Once I have this calendar off the shelf, I'm getting I'm styling it and integrating into my application. Okay, but what how do I integrate this? There should be some tool that has to get the this particular component from the internet. I cannot simply copy paste the source code, right? That's a very bad thing, because the source code would keep changing, because the guys at the date picker, they might have got a bug and they want to enhance the bug, and then the code might change every time. I cannot keep copying the code again and again. And let's say I have one single date picker, that would be okay. That makes sense to copy the code into my component. What if I have close to hundreds of components that I'm using from an NPM registry? Does it make sense to go to every particular website, copy the code and put it into the project? Or do you think, okay, you give out a list to a tool, and that tool will bring all the components into your project? Which is a better way to do it? Divya, which is a better way to do it?
The second way.
Well, you give out a list, and and that guy goes out to the internet and get all the components required for the project. and that particular guy is called npm. And each component or each module or each thing that we integrate into a project is called a module. Okay, and this particular so npm is a tool that takes the list and get the information of the internet. Okay, and in order to run the npm we need a node.js, because npm by itself cannot go onto the internet and fetch the data. All it does, it manages the list, it does not get the data. But the node is the one that helps the npm to try to understand, okay, you got the list now let me help you to get this information from there. Okay, we need a very little server to get the information from the internet server. Okay, and that particular little server is a Node.js. On top of it, we have an npm. It's a self-explanatory node and node package manager. They're two different things. Once you install your node, you also have an npm. And when I'm talking about this particular list, this list is put into a file called package.json. Okay. Okay. The question was, what is a yarn.log file? Whenever you are in a production or whenever you are a testing, so you know that, right? We have a development environment, we have a testing environment, we have a production environment. We have three different environments. Any familiar what are these environments do, Neha? Sandeep, are you familiar that we have three different environments? Okay, Neha. So during the development, we actually develop the code and we put all the features, everything into it. Then we pass this code to a QA or a quality analyst or a tester who would test the code. Okay, there are variety of testing happening in there. There are unit testing cases, there are functional test cases, the integration testing, protracted automation testing. So there's a whole different area in there. But what they do is they take your application, try to do a testing. This is the testing environment. How does it differ? Because your environment will have a different database. Your environment will talk to a different API. Your environment talk to a different set of tools. Once you're into a QA, they will use another set of tools, because sometimes while you develop your code and there are particular corner cases that your database, the way you get the data from the database and the way it hits the UI might be a perfect match, and the bug would be hidden. And when it hits the QA team, they have a different database. Once they have a different database, because in the real world the data keeps changing, and there are few data pieces that are missing, and it has to be handled on the UI. If the price is missing, the price shouldn't be blank. It's supposed to say the price is not available, right? It makes more sense for you end user to know the price is not available. If it's a blank, that's a dangerous thing there, right? You might assume that it's a free or of no cost. It's a add-on item. There are a variety of reasons user can go wrong. But if the price is not available, you have to explicitly say, okay, the price is not available. That makes complete sense to the user. These kind of things are tested in a QA, and once the QA approves your code, okay, this code looks good to me, and then they pass that piece of code into the production. Okay, and there are three different environments I think here. And if we on the first environment, on the develop branch, whenever we do an npm install, so it means I have this list of items that I have to get from the internet, right? And all the items are put into this particular folder called node modules. Can you see on my screen that is little hidden? Folks, Venkat, can you able to see on my screen?
Yeah.
Yes, Vikram.
Yes, Vikram.
There's a little note.
Yes, sir.
So it gets all the components, all the modules from the internet and put it on my local folder, node module. So every time your code runs, it does not go running for the code on the internet. Even though your code is, your machine is not connected to the internet, you have downloaded the node modules, you have downloaded everything and put it on your local machine, and you can still able to run the application. And that is what a node and npm helps with. But what I do is I will go in here and let's say I would remove my node modules. Okay. Now then on the left side you can see my node modules have been completely removed. And when I do an npm install again, it will read through all the package.json dependencies. So you have a list of dependencies. I have 3 dependencies in my application right now: React, React DOM, and React scripts. What I do is I do an npm install. So I can do npm install. So tomorrow, guys, whenever you are into a new project and the project, you are given out a project, pay very close attention. The first thing, the very first day, whenever you hit the project, whenever you get an access to the project, first thing you have to look for is this particular file called package.json. It got 90% of the information, what is your project about, and what are the components that are used inside your project. The functionality, the use cases, what is your project about, you absolutely get to know from a team number. But what is used inside a project is everything is put into this particular file. Okay, and especially look at this particular key on line number 5. It's called dependencies. Dependencies are those that help your application to up and running. This is the list of items that are the application uses from the internet. On your day one, go ahead, directly have this look at this package.json, go through the dependencies. In my case, I have only 3 dependencies. In a real world application, you might have close to probably 30 to 40 dependencies. Okay, depending on how complex your application, you have 30 to 40 dependencies. The first thing you have to do is go to this particular key dependencies, and inside it you can see a dependency name. Copy this dependency name. Let's copy this React script dependencies name. Go on to the internet. Try to find as much as information as you can. Okay, as soon as I hit the API, it takes me to npm.js website and React script. It provides you a very detailed information about what is this component is. And next time when your teammates talks about this component, you should have a mental picture of what this component does. Okay, don't worry, there are thousands and thousands of components. Not everybody knows every component, but every of them are packaged and kept into this particular npm node.js on the internet. Go take a look. There are tutorials for most of the npm modules. You don't have to really struggle hard to learn this. And once you have a familiarity of all the node modules, I would say that you are developing your project or surviving in your project. The chances of surviving in your projects are very high once you know each and every module. Okay, because these are the building blocks of your project. Without this, your project wouldn't have existed, or it might take years to put together your project without the dependency. You can absolutely do all these modules by yourself, but that would take a hell lot of time. Right? Okay. Any questions so far? Okay, I haven't answered the question what a yarn.log file is. So let's say I'm doing an npm install on my machine, and that would bring up all the node package all the node modules from the internet. Okay, and what Facebook decided is, you know what? Every time you don't have to do this every time, but whenever you are adding a feature or whenever you're adding a new node module, then a lot of times you have to remove your node modules and add the node modules for a variety of reasons. Sometimes your node modules are not supported. Sometimes some packages are missing, and sometimes you have to force install them. A lot of times, the quickest and the easiest way of doing is remove all of them and reinstall them. That would be easiest thing to clear a lot of problems. Okay, and what Facebook has decided is, okay, it's taking a longer. So in my case, it took 36 seconds in here, right? It took 36 seconds. What Facebook has decided is, they came up with a tool called Yarn. Okay, guys, you know what? You don't have to do an npm install. Get the things always from the internet. What we do is, we have a technology called Yarn, and what it does is, every time you do a Yarn install, let's say I'm doing a Yarn install, Yarn and npm are one and the same. npm always try to pull the node modules off the internet. Yarn will try to look for the node modules on your machine. If not, it will go for the internet. Okay, let me do a Yarn install in here. Okay, it's trying to fetch the information from the internet because I haven't previously installed any of these node packages on my machine, and you can see it took 11.93 seconds. I'm removing the node modules, RM minus RF node modules. RM-RF is a keyword to remove it. I can explicitly go to the particular folder and able to delete it. This is another way I can do it from the command line. Okay. When I do an npm install, it's taking 36 seconds. Let's do a yarn install. Okay, it took how many seconds, guys?
14.38.
14.38.
Right now, I have only 3 packages, and my installation time has been cut down to off. Imagine if you have close to 30 to 40 to 50 packages. I have seen from 7 minutes to go all the way down to 56 seconds. That is a lot of time saving for a lot of developers. You really do not have to wait for the node package manager. And another reason is that you may not have a very fast internet connection. And once you do the npm yarn install, it would have them it locally, and next time you do a yarn install, it will copy it from your machine, which is a lot faster. And this particular yarn.log file, let me go to this package.json file first, and you see a left key is called React, and the right key is a version number in here. In your project, every module will have its own version number. Okay, whenever we are getting a product, there are different versions of a product. We have to explicitly tell node package manager, okay, I'm getting a window, but what window, what color, what specifications, every window has a different size and shape, right? I have to tell the npm manager telling that, okay, go onto the internet, get me this React package, which has a version 16.4.1. And this little thing in here, it's called a caret, okay? When I put a caret, I can do without the caret. But when I do the caret, I'm telling the package manager, I'm telling the npm, hey, listen, I need 16.4.1. But if you find anything latest, which is more than 16.4.1, just get that for me. I'm telling you, the minimum requirement is 16.4.1. But if you feel like there's another latest version up and running in the internet on the npm registry, get me the latest version. Okay, guys, in your projects, a lot of dependencies are locked to the version, because every version has its own setbacks or own drawbacks. What people do, if it's a very complex application, they lock the version number. So they do not go by the caret. All they do is, no matter what, okay, even though you have a latest version, I'm comfortable with 16.4.1. Just get me that. Okay, and you can do either caret on the package.json or directly explicitly do 16.4.1. And on top of caret, even though you have your caret, you can tell the yarn file. A yarn file would block your dependencies, saying, okay, if you are using okay, so let's take an example of React DOM. So it's telling, okay, even though you use the caret, the yarn would block your dependencies. It would make sure that you are locked to your dependencies. If you want to increase your dependencies, you have to simply delete the yarn.log file and reinstall the yarn install, and that would increase your dependency. So the first way I would do is go to my package.json. I would change the version number in here, okay, and delete the node modules, because the node I have the module which is 16.4.1. So I have to delete the node modules. You can go explicitly delete the particular React node module, or you can able to directly delete the whole node modules. My way of doing it, I would delete the whole node modules and reinstall it, because there are nested dependencies again. So I would not take a chance trying to figure out what's going on. I would just delete the whole node modules folder. Okay. I would delete it, and I would add increase the version number, and I would go and delete the yarn log file and install the node module, and that will bring me the latest 16.4.2 instead of 16.4.1. Any questions until this far, guys? Does it make any sense? Was it boring?
Can you explain that again, Vikram? The deleting and adding the files, please, on Yarn.
deleting and adding the files.
As in,
Which part, Vidisha?
no, whatever you just mentioned about carrots and changing and uninstalling and reinstalling.
Okay.
I'm just confused about that.
Okay, Vidisha. Let's take. You need. You're going. You ask someone else to get shopping. What is the product you frequently buy?
You mean clothes or just in general?
Just let's take an example of. Okay, let's take an example of a laptop. Okay, you're asking some person to, hey, listen, I need 8 GB of RAM on my machine, and that's minimum. I need 8 GB of RAM. That is minimum. And if you find anything higher than that, get me that. Okay, so you're giving out a list. You're writing on a piece of paper, telling it, okay, hey, listen, I need a laptop which has a RAM greater than 8 GB, and the person can able to get an 8 GB laptop, or if he finds anything greater, he would get that for you, right?
Yeah.
Okay. In our node package manager in the package.json, what we're doing is, if we do, if you mention the version number, it would go directly get the exact version from the npm release, okay, off the shelf, off the internet. If I mention a caret, saying a caret is nothing but greater than 8 GB, or if you find a laptop greater than 8 GB, get the laptop. The same way we are telling the npm, asking, okay, I'm putting a caret in here because you know what, I need 16.4.1 as a minimum requirement. But if you find anything greater, get me that. Okay. What if you already have a laptop with you which is 8 GB? If you have a latest laptop which is more than 8 GB, you discard the existing laptop and use the one with the latest laptop, right?
Yes, Vikram.
Okay, in the same sense, the node modules is your products. You discard your existing products if you find anything that is latest. Right?
Oh, okay, yeah.
So this node modules are your products. You have to delete the whole products. Whenever you're changing one single product, you have to delete all your products, which doesn't make in the real world. But the node modules thing, you have to delete all your node modules and reinstall them when you're changing your version. Okay, and trust me, you don't have to do this. Probably maybe once in a year, increasing your version number once in a year, depending on how your development team development goes on, or how fast is your development phase. Make sense?
Yes, Vikram. Okay.
Vikram?
Yes.
Yeah, you were starting the application using Yarn?
We can also start using the npm start. You can also use an yarn start.
But if you write the script, so it will directly go to the npm. I know that. We are bundling with the Webpack, right?
Yes, we are using the Webpack behind the scenes. So I'm not going in deep into the Webpack. The React Create Hub has an inbuilt Webpack into the application, and that will take care of it.
By using Webpack also we can start the application, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. We can use Webpack. We can use the Webpack dev server to start that.
Yeah, I have seen that. It creates two lock files. One is package lock and yarn lock.
Mm-hmm.
So package lock is enough for that. Storing the versions and all those things.
Oh, the package lock would enable able to store your files with respect to npm, but with respect
package lock will store the version management. Like when you create any application with some dependencies with the versions, if you want to lock the versions, so package lock.json will create. If you want to, I think shrink wrap is there. So with that, we can also store the versions. The current versions, which are, we are using the dependencies, or we are installing in our local system. So those things are used for them. But by using Yarn, it create another log file.
Yes, it would create another log file, and it would help you.
So what it store? The log file will store the versions of the npm, or what it will store actually?
It would store all the npm modules with the version number.
And also package.json also create the same thing, right?
The package.json is a way different. It would store your npm, mm, the tree, the way it has been generated. It's a way different. How the dependencies has been installed on your machine. If there is a flat dependencies and a nested dependencies.
Yeah.
Right? So it would store the level of hierarchical way, the tree of the node module. It wouldn't show, it would absolutely have the information, but it would be so nested that would be hard to read. The YAML log file would have it very clear. You have this particular React module, React DOM in here, and what all the dependencies that are required under this particular package. If you look at the package.log file, I really do not think, I haven't taken a deep look into the package.json .log file, but I'm very sure that it wouldn't provide a lot of detail. It would, but you see a lot of duplication in there.
Normally, when I'm using the node, I have seen the package.log.json. So we're going with the package log, or normally we prefer for shrink wrap is also stored for the node module versions and all those things. But I never used two log files in one project.
That's a good question. I'm really not sure if you do not read two log files, but there are two different things. If you're using the package, the npm would create your package.json log file. This is another tool that maintains your log.
Normally, that's what I'm saying, Vikram. So if you go with an shrink wrap, it will create the shrink wrap.json. Other than package.log.json and shrink wrap. Two things will do the if you install the shrink wrap, it will create the shrink wrap.json. Or if you are not if you are not installing shrink wrap, it is going within package.log.json. So those are normally handling the node modules. The node modules hierarchy and everything. But when I start with some applications with Yan also, I never see the yan.log file.
You haven't seen a yan.log file when you do yan install?
Yeah, normally I didn't see that, Vikram.
That's really strange. Every YAML install would create a yan.log file. Probably if you have it as part of a gitignore file, is it not showing up on your ID? Can you go check to see on your folder if you find any?
Okay.
I'm 100% sure that YAML install will definitely create a yan.log because that's the motor behind the tool.
Okay, let me check.
To be honest, I'm not very sure about the shrink wrap you're talking about.
Yeah.
I'll take a note and I'll take a look.
That's a node stuff. I know that shrink wrap and everything.
Okay.
I will look at. I will check for the unlock, Vikram.
And you will also check this is it packet.log.json or is packet.json blog?
Sorry.
Okay, never mind. I'll take it. Thank you, Murli. Thank you, Prab. Any other questions, guys?
Vikram, what is that the first file in the stores folder .gitignore? Can you explain that, please?
Okay, so this is the versioning tool. There's a lot of things that goes in and around this. If you are inside a versioning tool, Vidisha, like you understand this word called source versioning?
We can say simply. Vidisha, normally when you push code into the GitHub, we don't need to push the node modules and package.log.json or unlock. These things, if you want to ignore any files or anything, we normally add it into the git ignore. So it will ignore the files if you package.log.json is updated or unlock is updated. So if you go with an git status and all those things will not be displayed in the in the window or command prompt. So normally, if you want to ignore any files or anything, we are adding into the git ignore.
Okay, Praveen.
Yep, absolutely, Vidisha. So whenever you're trying to make some changes on your file and you don't want those changes to be reflected on your source version tool, saying that, hey, listen, I'm making these changes to the file, but don't track this file onto your source version control. What we do is we explicitly create a file called .gitignore saying that, okay, these are the list of files I don't want to be tracked. I keep changing them a lot, but do not track them. Okay, so they do not go into the Git or your source version control tools. Okay, Vidisha?
Yes, Vikram, got it.
Okay. Any more questions, guys? Okay, use your panel to yes, say no. Any more questions? All right, folks, thank you. Vidisha, you have a question? Haven't answered.
Yeah, I got the answer, Vikram. Thank you.
All right, perfect. No more questions. Okay, so let's go straight to the public folder, and inside my public folder, I have a favicon. The favicon is a little icon that is on your tab in here. You can see this thing in here, right? That Google in here, the followers tag, the Gmail. So everything that goes onto your tab is your favicon in there. You might probably know what index.json is. The manifest.json would have all the information related to your theming, what kind of web app is it, and all those type of things. And going back to a source folder, this is a very interesting folder, guys. And inside this, let's directly hit the app.json. Before that, let's try to understand how the React is set up on a machine or on your HTML page. Okay, so on the first thing, we need two libraries, guys. So in order to use React, we need two libraries or two different modules. The React by itself, which would generate the views on the UI, the React technology. But I was keep telling you, okay, React is not confined to web. You can use a React on a mobile device. You can use a React on your VR devices. You can use React on your TVs. React is a wrapper, and we need another wrapper on top of it where it actually talks to the underlying platform, right? So my browser is a platform right now, and React is a technology. I need my React to talk to my browser, right? And there should be some guy in between that can able to understand the React and try to make the thing understandable to the browser. And that's where the React DOM comes into the picture. Okay, React DOM will able to translate or cross communicate in between React and to your browser. Okay, makes sense?
Yes, Vikram.
Okay, let's take a look. So React is a library that would create your views, and React DOM is something that talks to your browser and the React. Okay. So this is how it would work. You have a browser, and on top of your browser, you have your React DOM. On top of your React DOM, you have your React. This is the hierarchy. Let's get started. So once you have your index.html, let's take a look at the index.html. All you see is inside your body, all you see is one single div with an ID called root, and this is where React starts. Okay, folks. You have your HTML document. Inside your HTML document, you have this particular div, and for the particular div, you give out an ID. And the next time, whenever we're trying to access this ID, we use React DOM. Okay, this particular package called React DOM, and what it does is capture this particular div. We have used jQuery to capture the particular div using an ID. We can capture using a class name. We can capture using a tag of the HTML tag. There are a variety of ways. What in React, what we do is we give out a div, a particular unique ID, and once we have an access to that ID, and that access is granted using React DOM.render. Okay, and once we have this React DOM.render, what we do is we get the element by ID saying, okay, it's kind of a thing like this. You have a plain canvas, like a whole white sheet of canvas. If I ask you to put a dot on the canvas, you would definitely ask me, okay, where would I put the dot? Top right, top left, the bottom or right? What if I give a reference? I draw as a piece of line, or I put another dot and ask you to, okay, listen, put a dot next to the dot. The same way React would also work. It asking, okay, I have a React component, I have a view. Where would I put this? Where would I load this React component? We are telling the React, okay, wait, let the React DOM will take over. React talks to the React DOM saying, okay, where do I put this? I have generated the React views. Where would I put this React views? And the React will tell, okay, you put your React views on a particular div called a root, which a particular div which has an ID called root, and that's where it fits. Make sense so far? Oh,
Vikram, can you explain it again? The whatever the render thing.
yeah, definitely. Let me show you an example, and that will make more sense. Just give me a minute, okay? I'm trying to pull an image. Bear with me, guys. I'm almost there. Since I was traveling, I have put everything on my hard disk and trying to pull the information. So the way the math works, I've added into the time machine, and it's not showing the, I do not remember the exact timestamp. Okay, it's not, okay, let me give you an example over here. Okay, Venkat, let's say you have your HTML, right?
Yeah.
You have your HTML, you have your head part in here, and all the scripts that go into your head part goes in here. Okay, like setting up your favicon, your title of the browser, etc. goes in here. Inside this, you have a body. Okay, and inside this, now everything that is visible to the UI, everything that is shown on the UI is inside this body, right? This is the visual tag, visual element. Everything that is unseen goes onto the head, like your styles, favicon, everything that goes into the head part. But everything you see on the UI is supposed to be inside this body, right?
Yeah, Vikram, I do not find any pictures on your screen.
Oh, I'm sorry, I'm not sharing the screen. Okay, sorry. Okay.
Yeah, right.
Okay, so what I'm doing in here, I've created a simple HTML tag. Inside my HTML tag, I have a header tag, okay, the non-visible part of the browser. And inside my body, what I would have is everything that is inside my body tag shows up on the UI. That's for taken, right? And inside my body, I would have a single div. Okay, let's say I might not have a single div, I might have a multiple divs. Okay, so let's say this, and my React has to fit in somewhere, right? Let's say my React has fitting into the first div, and this is all my React views. Okay, but how do my React views go directly inside a div? There should be some way, right? You in order to differentiate between one particular div to another div. So what we do is, so on one particular div, we give out an ID. Usually, few people say it's at source, few people say that as a root, main. The ID does not matter. I prefer it as a root because this is where your React component starts, the root of the application. Once I have this ID as a root, what I do is I go back to my React world and use my React DOM. This particular guy is so smart enough. He's a very good friend of DOM. What he does is go find a div by an ID root. You know there are multiple divs in here. Okay, and that particular guy go finds a particular div which has a root of ID, and that is what we are doing in here. We're passing a React DOM.render is a function that takes two arguments. Let's talk about the second argument here, and it document.get element by ID. It's trying to get that particular div element. Okay, and what it's going to do next inside our React DOM library, what it does is it loads this particular app. Okay, app is a React component. Okay, and it would take this React component and load this inside my view. Okay, makes sense?
Yep. Yep.
Okay, this is how initially the React would load. You have an empty canvas, the React will not know where, or you have an empty browser window, the React does not know where to go. We are, navigating it, telling, okay, React, go to this particular, go inside this particular div where you find an ID called root. Okay, and like React DOM is kind of a GPS for React. React doesn't know where to go. The React DOM helps go onto the browser and go for find the DOM element. Okay, this is a route I see. Okay, React, now you can go to this destination. That's what we do. Okay, this is a styling library we are importing. The style sheet we are importing, and we are importing a React component. So let's create a very small React component and try to understand how things work. Okay, is that clear, Venkat, until this part? So
Yes.
let's
Yep.
small
I'm clear.
React component, and we go it from there. Okay. Create a very small React component. See. Okay, so what would be the, okay, let me show you how do we run your application. Once you have your installation of your npm, you have supposed to be inside your current folder, guys. Okay, so once you right now I'm in my current folder called stellas, and inside my current folder you do an ls, or you can just open and see what's going on inside. Okay, I am in my stellas folder, and whenever you have to do an npm install or yarn install, you are supposed to be in a folder that has a package.json inside it, because you're asking it to get a list of items. If you do not provide a list, it will not able to get it, and that would throw you an error. Okay, right now I'm in a stellas folder. Inside my stellas folder, I have a package.json. So for the same reason, I'm going to do an npm install, and that would install my packages. I already have them installed on my machine. Once I have an npm installed, I can simply do npm start, or I can do an npm yarn start. Both is one and the same. It would start up your application, yarn start, and that should open a browser window for you. Having so on the right, it has just opened a browser window for me. And this is what you see when everything is running up and running on your machine. Okay, make sure you show this particular screen by tomorrow and try to follow up or do whatever tweaks you have going further. Okay. So one
Quick question, Vikram.
Yes.
If we can do both ways, npm start and yarn start, what's the difference between the two ways of doing it?
npm and yarn, npm gets it from the cloud, yarn gets it from the local. and yarn will try to align as much as with the npm because they don't want to break the existing way of doing the code. So they just aligned with the yarn way of doing the npm way of doing it. All they're doing it is instead of getting it from the internet, they're getting it from your local harddisk.
Okay.
There's absolutely no difference.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes.
So the first and the foremost, when you have your application, let me put this a little bit on this thing in here, close this thing, and have my React app right next in here. Anybody have a trouble joining? Somebody has recently joined? Okay. So the first and the foremost thing, you have to go to this particular app.js file under your source. Okay. I have talked about the public folder. Source is where you actually have the source of your whole application. Very clean, the way you develop it, the way it is on your source folder. Once you have the things on your source folder, you can go to this particular app, file called app.js. And the first and the foremost thing we need to do a React component is React by itself, right? So let's import React. Import React from React. Okay, using a keyword called import, I'm trying to import a library. This is the way we do it, guys. Whenever we have a list of items, so right now I have inside my package.json, I have my dependency React. So I'm using the same keyword to import that into my particular file. And take a look in here. It's app.js. It can also be app.jsx. There is absolutely no difference because end of the day it would always convert your app.jsx into JS. Okay, you have to do a little bit configuration on there where it would where the create React app would do it for you. Okay. So the first and the foremost line of code inside every React component must and should is to import your React library from this React module. Okay, once you have this, the second thing you have to do is you create your React component. Okay, and the simplest going forward, guys, we would be using an ES6 syntax only. Okay, that is the thing that is trending. If you would like to see how the ES file looks like, go to this particular website called babel.rtel app shared yesterday, and you can put in your ES6 code, and that will convert it to ES5 code. Okay. And let's create a very small React component, say hello world, a class. We would extend the existing component class. What I mean by that is there is an already a React component which is given out of the box. We have to make use of this existing React component and build on top of it. So what we do is we extend the existing class. Okay, what I mean by that is, you have let's say you have a person, the name, the first name, last name, salary, the gender are the common terms. So if you are into a profession, let's say you are a teacher, somebody has to have, we need to add another key to the called profession. What we do is we extend the existing object. Whichever profession you take, the person would have a first name, last name, salary, and a gender. We would extend adding another property called profession. Right? In the same sense, we already have a React component. We would extend the functionality of it. We call it class, name of the React component. I would say my simple component. And remember, a lot of folks write this in a smaller case. React components should start with a capital. Okay, there's no small case. I took an interview for a guy who said he was an expert React.js developer, and asked him to do a React component. And he said he started doing and said class simple component using a smaller case. Yes, I said we'll get back to you, and I dropped it. That makes a complete sense to me how much of understanding he has towards React. If he could not able to create a very simple component, he does not understand component cannot be created using the smaller case. Okay, be very careful while you create your React component. Class my simple component. I'm using a camel case in here. You guys familiar with what a camel case is? Every new word, the character of every new word starts with a capital case. Okay, and this is a snake case. Familiar with the snake case, I believe. You're right. A lot of times we were previously, in the previous programming experience. A lot of senior developers or people do a snake case instead of a camel case. I prefer the camel case because this thing with an extra hyphen, I really don't feel good about it. But it's absolutely up to you to create a camel case or a snake case. Okay, so class my simple React component and it extends. Okay, extends is the keyword. And what does it extends? It's supposed to extends another React component, which is a base React component, right? And we do that using React dot component. Okay, and this is an object in here. Once we have, I'm using the curly brace, not the parenthesis, because that's an object in there. I'm using a class, my simple component. I'm extending on the base component, which is React dot component, which is out of the box. Either you can do React dot component, or I have seen people doing something like this. Instead of importing the whole React library, you can also import the modules inside your React library, doing comma, a curly brace, and a component. Okay, you might be wondering why don't we have React a curly brace, but why do we have the component inside a curly brace? React is a default library. Whenever we're trying to import something, let's say you are importing goods from China, you're importing goods from Pakistan, and from Pakistan you are only importing cotton, and from China you are importing variety of goods. Whenever we say we are importing goods from Pakistan, by default it is cotton. Okay, whenever we say we are importing goods from China, we have to explicitly say what are those goods, because China exports a variety of goods. Okay, so if every package, every module will have a default export and any nested modules or a lot of sub modules. Whenever we are importing the sub modules, we have to add them inside a curly brace. But we are importing our default module, then we don't have to do a curly brace. Okay, so import React from React and component a submodule. But instead of accessing the submodule in here, I can directly able to access extends component, because I already have a keyword called component here. I can use a component in here, class my simple component extends component. And immediately after that, welcome to the React component lifecycle. 100, if you take 100 interviews, 95 interviewers would ask this question. Can you explain what is a component lifecycle in React? What do you know about a component lifecycle in React? Guys, React is all about component lifecycles. The more you know about a component lifecycle, the more you understand. But what in the first place, let's stop for a minute in here. What do you understand by a component life cycle? The word component, the word life cycle. Uday Sri or Shravani, would you mind telling me what is a life cycle? Shravani? Hello?
Yeah, Vikram. Life cycle means when the component is created and from the component created to component destroy.
Yes. Yes, Praveen. Well, I'm not talking about in terms of React, but in general, what would be a life cycle is?
Life cycle means starting, I mean, when you say human life, also starting to death.
Exactly, right? So in a real world, you have a set of things you do when you begin, when you're a child. You do a set of things when you're adult, and you do a set of things when you're old, right? So at every age, you do a different set of things. Even in React, or not just in React, guys, any other UI library, you have a life cycle. There are certain methods that are called initially, there are certain methods that are called after the UI is shown, there are certain methods that are called after UI has been destroyed. Okay, makes sense, guys? Life cycles are a set of methods or functions, or a very small piece of code that is called during the initialization, during the updating, and during the unmounting. Mounting and unmounting is the terms used for the React to get onto the DOM. Once, if the React view is on the DOM, we say it's mounted. When the React view is off the DOM, we say unmounted. Okay, take a note of this two keywords. So the inside React, we have a lot of lifecycle methods. We would go them one over the other, but understanding of this component lifecycle methods is what makes you a React expert. Okay, so the first and the foremost lifecycle component must have in your React components is render. Every React component must and should have a render function. Okay, so let's do a render in here. Okay, and this render is a function. So when I say a function, it has a curly brace. Familiar with the JavaScript way of calling a function, right? Yes, Murali? Familiar, right?
Yes.
Right. So what we do is we call a particular function called render, and inside that render function, a curly brace in here, and this function is, you know what? Render is a word that is used to show the things on a UI. If anybody do video editing, any photographers in the team, anyone who does Photoshop at least? Something you do?
No, Vikram.
Okay, I see you are. So whenever we do, these kind of editings, we use this particular form render. It's rendering. A rendering is something, you do some changes to it, to the raw copy, or the raw copy would make, it would show a preview of your effect. If you're throwing in a fire effect, it will take a couple of minutes for the render to happen, to all the mixing to happen, then show up on the video. This is the concept where this keyword render has been originated and been widely used onto the React, because render is to show on a UI, and we use this particular keyword or the particular function to show the things on the UI. And this render function is supposed to return at least a div. Okay, what I do is inside my render, I would return things. Okay, and return is supposed to be a view. Until this point, we are making JavaScript, guys. Now jump on to the HTML. Inside return, we have to return a view, and this view is supposed to be wrapped inside a div. Okay, be ready, guys. I'm gonna ask you a lot of questions around this area here. And inside my div, I would say hello world. Okay, and I would simply, once I created my module, I have to export my module. Without an exporting, you cannot import the module. It's like, you're letting the application look, letting the application know that, hey, listen, I exist. If anybody wants to use me, just import me, but I'm ready to export. So export default and name of our component. What is the name of our component, Monica?
My simple component.
Exactly. So my simple component, and give it a save. Okay, and then on my right side you can see hello world, right? Makes sense, guys? Until this far about the render function, I would take another 10 minutes, and I'll be open for any questions. Makes sense until this class? Use your panel, please. Somebody please use your panel. You're the only one that is pending. All right, awesome, thank you. There are 10 folks in the class, right? Okay, thank you so much. So I'll just go one last time. We would import a React component from React, and we use a class keyword, and my simple component, the name of the component by itself, extends the component, which is a submodule from the React, and that's an object in there. Be very clear, this is an object in here. And inside my object, what I would do is I create a render function, which is the first component lifecycle method, and that component lifecycle method would return a view. Until this point we're making JavaScript, and this return would generate a hello world for us. Okay, great. So let's do another thing in here. I would like to do, you know what, I would like to know if a user is okay. So let's create a very conditional React component. Let's say I'm creating a variable. Guys, can anybody help me how to create a variable in JavaScript? Udayshri? Murali, how do I create a variable in JavaScript? I want to just create a variable for, yes.
Like in ES6, you can use like let or constant, like
Okay.
constant variable name, any constant and name,
Okay.
any name.
Use a constant in here. Is user online is my variable name, and this is equals to let's say if user is online, and I would say false. Okay. And what I would do is my inside my render function, before I return, okay, here as you can see on my render, what I would do is I would throw in an if else condition. What I would do is if is user online double equal to true, okay, then what I would do is I would return say if the user is online. Okay, if I'm telling if the user is online double equal to true, the user is online, else return the user is offline. Now tell me what does the UI shows for me. Hello, folks.
The user is offline.
The user is offline. Why is it, Murli?
When we initialize the variable, we keep like is user online, the value is false. When it's compared with true, it's not equal to true, so it goes to else statement.
Exactly. So what we're doing in here is called a conditional rendering. Guys, this conditional rendering is what you do every day in your React development. You have to, depending on a certain criteria, you have to show certain pieces of UI, you have to hide a certain pieces of UI, you have to render a different component depending on your business logic, okay? And if I do something like this, I would like Uday to answer this question. For some reason she's not talking, but if not, okay, what would be my UI show? Neha, what will my UI show?
Yes,
I mean, Yeah, I have a couple of return statements inside my render. So if you are familiar with the JavaScript function background, whenever a function encounters a return, what would the function do?
What the function do? No idea, Vikram.
Okay. Kiti, have you gone through your JavaScript classes? Kiti?
Yes, Vikram.
Okay, Kiti, if a function encounters a return statement, what would the function do? The function continues or breaks?
If we give any loops, it breaks. But in this case, I am unable to find what exactly it is. So I think it breaks with this is render one.
Guys,
I mean the output will be the only one.
Yes, guys, in JavaScript, a function would terminate or stop executing whenever it encounters a return. Yeah, right, Murali? Whenever you see a return statement inside your function,
After that,
the first return statement is executed and the rest of all the return statements are ignored. Considering this scenario, what do you think that UI would show? The render function would stop executing until it finds a return statement. But which return statement it's going to show on my UI? I have 4 return statements, line number 6, 7, 8, 9. The JavaScript compiler would go line by line. So it would read render on line number 5, it would read return on line number 6, return on line number 7. What do you think my UI would show? Does it show this is render 1, this is render 2, this is render 3, this is render 4? What it will take a wild guess.
Would it be number 1?
Only the render one.
This is render 1.
This is render 1. Kirti, why is it?
Because it breaks in the first line. Once it is returned, then it will be break. It will break. So to my knowledge, this the output will be like this is render 1. That's it.
Perfect. Whenever in your render statement, guys, whenever it encounters the first return statement, it would break in there. Okay. That would return the first return statement. We leverage this particular functionality inside your render to do conditional rendering. Okay, folks, if the product is available, show the product. If the product is not available, hide the product. If the user is active, show the online. If the user is inactive, show it offline. There are a variety of use cases where you use this render, conditional rendering. Okay, folks? Make sense?
Yes, Vikram.
Awesome. So let me tell you a very simple thing. We were doing a written statement in here. If you have remember, if the user is online, true, else return if the div is offline. Do you think can we tweak this code a little bit to make it much better? Let me tell you something. Do we really need the else statement in here? Because you know what? If condition is executed, it would return and that the loop would terminate in there. Right? The execution will stop it in here. It doesn't go to the next level. So what I can do in here is completely remove the else statement and do a return statement by itself. If this is executing, if this statement is true, it would return in here and it will no longer go forward. If this is false, it would look for a next return statement. Our render function is so hungry, it will always look for a return statement and goes to the next return available. In our case, we only have 2 scenarios, either to show it online or offline. So we cannot really do not need an else statement in here. Okay? Okay, folks?
Yes, Vikram.
Okay. So let's, I would break in here for the next 10 minutes. If you have any questions, you can absolutely ask. I would be here for the next 30 minutes. If you have any questions related to any of the sessions we've been doing, or the quizzes, or the way I'm telling you the concepts, or you need more picture or visual aids to understand the things, I'd be more than happy to show anything from today's class.
Vikram, I was wondering, you mentioned something about giving us the notes. Would those be notes on the sessions that you'd be posting somewhere?
Once you are into the Slack account, I would and once I have your GitHub thing, I would add them to you. I would give the access to the source version control, where I would add them to your. I would add your Gmail accounts to there, and you can able to directly go into that particular repository and clone on your machine.
Okay, Vikram. I think I am in your Slack account for now, but I'm not sure. I think I did something. So yeah.
Okay. I'm expecting by tomorrow you guys supposed to have this particular thing on npm React creator installed on your machine and show up and running React app. The first thing in the morning. The first thing in the session.
Okay, Vikram.
Okay.
Any more questions, please? You can use your panel if you have any questions. Or if you would like to show you something on your screen, having trouble setting up anything, please go ahead. Okay, if you do not have any questions, you're free to draw.
Vikram, I have a question about the meeting timings, and if we could
yeah,
reschedule.
definitely. Yeah, please. I totally forgot about it. Thank you for reminding. If guys, does anybody need another timing of the class? Because I have another class that has to be taken immediately after 11. So that's the reason I put up this class so late. And going forward, if you have the start of your marketing calls, everything, so this will not disturb your everyday schedule. But I think that's getting too late for you guys. Just let me know if you want to make it a little early. I'll try to make it a little early as possible.
Yes, Vikram. I mean, it's 10:30 is like too late for us. Even if it's 9, it works.
It's 9 for me here. I can go like hour back, or I can go until 8. So that would be like 9:30 for you.
Could we do 9 by any chance, Vikram?
9 is too early, Vivisha, for me.
Okay.
Okay, so 9:30 is fine.
We could also do in the morning, Vikram, if that works for you. So sometime in early morning for us and night for you.
Early morning, at what time are you guys okay?
I'm okay with anything after 8 or like even 7:30.